$1 million in debt, and a high school dropout. This forecast may not seem like a recipe for success, but Dylan Ogline used this as his moment of influence and prosperity. After scrapping 10 business ideas and tired of working in his freezing basement, Ogline focused exclusively on digital marketing, and that decision is what made him a millionaire. And now, this Pennsylvania country kid turned Florida transplant is now on a mission to help others build profitable agencies and successful businesses. He joined me this week to discuss how he found his own secrets to success. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Hey Dylan, if you're ready, I'll welcome you to the show, and we're excited to learn all about how you help people build profitable digital agencies. So great to see you this morning, and thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me.
So Dylan, I know that your story began by growing up in a small country town in Pennsylvania, and you had dreamed of starting like 10 businesses before you started focusing primarily on digital agencies. So can you tell me a little bit about your business journey and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. So the dream wasn't to start 10 different businesses and to be working on 10 different projects and bouncing all around. Where I didn't realize it was a mistake at the time, but where the mistake was is that I was continuously trying to make something work. I was desperate, and I spent 8 years doing this. A long time I wasted continuously trying to start the new thing, to chasing the shiny object, just to try to get something going. That's how I ended up having, I think it was over, 10 different projects going on. And the truth was, it wasn't, that I had 10 businesses that were, going somewhere, or, I wasn't an Elon Musk, who's building all these different businesses. I was getting nowhere with any of it because I was going in so many different directions. The man who chases many rabbits catches none. And I was the epitome of that. I was so many different directions, absolutely going nowhere, and because I wasn't putting my focus on at least one single thing.
And you also say that you were like $1 million in debt. So I'm wondering how you remain disciplined to sort of climb your way out of that.
How did I remain disciplined? That's a good question. So I think it was simply a fact that failure wasn't an option. I didn't have something to fall back on. I had to make it work. Eventually, what kind of was key for me was, having mentors and having, people that I could bounce ideas off of, people that I like to say slapped me upside the head and been like, you're an idiot for doing so many different things. Like, that's a big problem. And I also, around the time when I started to get things going, I also started to join masterminds and training programs, and I wasn't just by myself anymore. And that really that really allowed me to, you know, seeing other people who made it work kind of subconsciously was like, okay, if these people can make it work, you can make it work as well. So, like I said, at the time, I joined a bunch of different training programs and masterminds, and, I was going through training. I was actually seeking advice. I had great mentors. And then I also was in a community where I could be like, okay, these other people followed this advice and they were able to get success. All of those things hit at the right time for me. And that I think is what gave me the push to get out of that hole.
Now, you also say that you work now with people to build profitable digital agencies and sort of remove the guesswork to do that. So, can you tell me about the work you're doing now and how you're helping people find their digital identity through business?
Absolutely. So right now I have two, before I had 10 plus projects. Now I have my digital agency, Ogline Digital, but that pretty much runs itself. I have a fantastic team in place. It's, if I have to work 2 hours a week required to keep that thing running, that's putting it high. But I'm able to put now my focus, my time, and my energy into something I'm extremely passionate about, which is my training program, Agency 2.0. And like you mentioned, that teaches people how to, the idea is that anybody can come into the program. You don't have to be in the digital marketing space. You could be a soccer mom. You could be a high school dropout like me, or somebody who just got out of college or who's in college. Anything with no experience in digital marketing, come into the program. And I want to be able to teach you step by step everything you need to know and do to build a six-figure digital agency. That's the goal of the program.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on the way people that go to school now are taught digital marketing or business administration in the like. So I'm just curious to get your thoughts on the presentation of that and where you think the education system is getting it right and where you think they may stand for improvement.
Sure. So I think I'm kind of going to answer that probably in a different way here. I believe that work as we know it is drastically changing. You go back 20, 30 years ago, or go back 20 years, it was harder for people to start their own business. People, working at home was like, well, how do you work at home? How do you not have an office? How do you not go to the office? And now it is so easy for anybody to start their own business. It is so easy. And sometimes, well, a lot of the times, it's better for people to work at home. They're not wasting their time commuting. They can do really focused work. All of those things are changing the nature of work as we know it. And, that's been obviously going on for years. Technology is getting better. The costs of starting a business get lower and lower. That all has been happening for years. And now with COVID, that kind of just cranked it up to a 10, where now everybody is working at home. And now that stigma of, starting your own business or working from home, that stigma is gone now. So where I think education is going wrong, in our school systems and whatnot, is we're still stuck in that pattern of you go to school, you go through high school, then, they mostly encourage you to go to college, and then you go get a job and you work a job for 30 years and then you retire. I think that's done. I think that world is done. And there's so many different things that we're not teaching people how to start their own businesses. And it's not starting a digital agency or anything like that. I think a lot of people are going to be kind of like independent contractors. They could be writers, and they're bouncing around from working with different companies because because they can now. Now it's, if you say, I randomly just made up a writer, you say you're a writer, before you had to go to an office and work at one company or whatever. Now you can work for 10 different companies throughout the country, working full time from home anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world. So does that answer your question in a roundabout way?
Sure it does. And my next question, just building on that, I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. So my next question has to do with asking you how you think digital agency and technology can help spur the hiring of people with disabilities.
That's a great question. I think, I believe that this change we're going through and the definition of work and how people work and working from home, I think that is it's going to benefit everybody, but I think it's going to disproportionately, in a good way, benefit those with disabilities, minorities, women. So many barriers to entry are now being lowered, or just the glass is being shattered. Think if you have a disability, you wanted to be a writer and you had to, go into the office, that's just more challenging. Whereas now you can work at home and the technology is there. Everybody's doing Zoom calls. The technology is there. The stigma of working from home is gone. I think that is I think we're moving in a fantastic direction, where with the changing definition and the changing way we work. And like I said, I think for those with disabilities, minorities, women, all those barriers to entry are now either gone or significantly lowered for everybody. So I think, like I said, it really benefits those with disabilities.
And Dylan, I know that when you're not working, you love to travel. So my final question for you is, what have you been filling that gap with during the pandemic, and what do you like to do for fun?
Well, for fun, I like to play hockey. Like you said, travel, spend time with my girlfriend and my dogs. During the pandemic, to be honest, I haven't been out of the country in over a year. The end of last year, I decided I wanted to see more of my own country, so I bought a motorhome and was traveling around the country doing that. But since the pandemic has hit, I've only gone to, I've only taken 2 or 3 short trips in the United States. Obviously that's impacted everybody when it comes to travel. So I'm really itching, to get out there, and but we got to be safe, and right now is not the safe time to travel. Everybody's got to wear a mask and whatnot. But yeah, so right now that the pandemic's going on, I like I said, I hang out with my girlfriend. I can't play hockey right now because the rink's closed still. Hang out with my girlfriend, cycle around, do some hiking, anything we can do out in nature to kind of get out of the house, doing that. But trying to make do. But hey, listen, that's the definition of first world problems, and there's certainly worse things that could be happening. So I'm lucky that the worst part of the pandemic for me is that I can't travel. So it could be worse. Could be much worse.
It could be, and I want to thank you for your time this morning and allowing me to virtually travel to the Sunshine State again. I want to thank you for your time and for being here this morning. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I want to thank you for your time this morning, buddy.
Absolutely, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic.